The Modern Warfare 2 Platinum trophy has eluded my collection of Platinums for over the last 2 years. Since the 26th of April 2020 I started going for the Modern Warfare 2 Platinum, but I soon gave up. After looking back at the COD 4 Platinum I got a year before Modern Warfare 2's release, I thought it was finally time that I got the Platinum. The first trophy I chose to go for is the Immortal trophy. This trophy requires you to complete the entire campaign without dying or reloading to a checkpoint. Thankfully, this can be completed on any difficulty. I also went for the Leave No Stone Unturned trophy, which requires all 45 pieces of intel to be collected. Although I was playing the campaign on the easiest difficulty, everything wasn't as straightforward as they looked to be. The first real challenge I came across was on the 4th mission called Takedown. This mission bombards you with enemies which seem to be spawning from any direction. And you guessed it, I died. Quite a few times. Oh my god. A few missions later I came across a point where I could pick up my first trophy in 2 years. The trophy was called Hot Potato and it required you to take out the helicopter with a frag grenade.
Heavy artillery and take it down. Roach, target at your 2 o'clock. Firing missile.
Yes.
Nice shooting, Roach.
After collecting the Hot Potato trophy, I burned through the rest of the campaign, collecting all of the intel as I went along. After a few hours, I had killed General Shepard, and it was time to pick up the Gold Immortal trophy.
And there we go. The Immortal trophy.
Now that I had completed Immortal, it was time to go back and collect the last few trophies. These were called Drive-By and Do Not Push This Button. I also needed one last piece of intel, which was located at the end of the 3rd mission, called Cliffhanger. This piece of intel is one of the hardest to collect, especially when you are trying not to fail the mission. So whilst I did Immortal, I decided to leave it and come back to it later. And finally, through the trees near the end, lay the last piece of intel. Whilst collecting the last piece of intel, I killed a lot of enemies on snowmobiles, which allowed me to obtain the Drive-By trophy. This trophy requires you to kill 20 enemies in a row whilst driving a vehicle. Finally, with 2 trophies gained in one mission, I was left with one final trophy before I got the Platinum. The last trophy is called Do Not Push This Button, which requires you to complete both levels of the museum without dying. At first, I thought this trophy would pose a big challenge. However, with the right loadout, I managed to get it first try. The loadout I used was the AA-12 shotgun and the Barrett 50 cal. I decided to clear the room that contained the Juggernaut, as he has a lot of health and can easily kill you.
One room done. Probably the most difficult because it's got the Juggernaut guy.
Now the first room was cleared, all that stood in my way of a Platinum was one final room of enemies. This room wasn't as bad as the last, but it did feature some annoying enemies with riot shields.
so many in there. One more, one more. Yes! First attempt. Do not push this button. And there we go. The Modern Warfare 2 Remastered Platinum Trophy. Finally. After about 2 years. We finally got it.
So finally, after 2 whole years, the Platinum was a part of my collection. Now, it was time to decide what game I should Platinum next.